Shravanayapi bahubhi yona labdhaha Shrunvantopi bahudha yamna vidyuhu. That even after listening to it many times, you cannot get it. Even after listening to it in many ways, it means it from many people, from many books, or from many other processes, yamna vidyu, you cannot get it. Ascharyo vakta kushlayam labdha. The speaker of such a truth from the knowledge of it, the experiential knowledge of it, not intellectual knowledge. Speaker of such truth with that experiential knowledge is amazing. Ascharya Vakta, the speaker of that. Kushalayam labdha, the one who receives also this knowledge. Receives is not from the point of view, hears this knowledge. Labdha is not about Shrota. It's not about the listener or the audience of this speaker. It is about the one who gets it, grasps it, labdha. He attains it. He is also amazing or she is also amazing. Ascharyo jnata, the knower of this is amazing. Kushalanusishta, the one who learns it also, amazing. The one who teaches and learns, both are amazing. From the point of view, not just a lecture, not from the point of view of an intellectual presentation, an intellectual listening. Who really gets it. Both are amazing. So I told them, I have no doubt that the speaker of this is amazing. The problem is whether the listener is also amazing or not. Plus minus is equal to minus only. Listener might be amazing. If the speaker is not amazing, then also plus minus minus. Both have to be plus. Now don't apply kutarka, minus minus, minus minus, double minus. That is Vedantic mathematics. Both are fools, double fools. Andhai neva niyamana yatha andha, like blind man leading the blind. So it's double minus. Minus plus is minus. Plus plus is equal to infinite plus. Not just double plus. Infinite plus. Brahma with Brahmaiva bhavati. The knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. What happens? Infinity becomes. Therefore, in Vedantic mathematics, plus plus is infinite plus. Plus minus is shunyam. And plus minus minus is double minus. Like blind leading the blind. So the speaker of it being amazing is important. But more important is that the listener or the shishya should also be amazing. That's what in Yoga Vasishta says, more than the ability of the teacher to teach, it is the discerning mind of the disciple which is going to lead him to knowledge. More than teacher's ability to teach, it is the discerning mind of the student who will lead the student to knowledge. So it's not as much dependent on teacher as it is on the student. Take a case of Ekalavya. This teacher did not even admit him into the class. This poor fellow did not even have access to the chariot of Surya like Hanuman. What he did, Guru Bhakti, he made a statue of Dronacharya in his own imagination, how it should look. And then he started worshipping, did Vandana, Guru Vandana, and then he started practicing. Something he was practicing without the knowledge of how, why, which way, which not. But due to his Shraddha and Guru Bhakti, where he reached, he was better than Arjuna. He is better than Arjuna. And that's why when Dronacharya did the Shishya Droha by asking for the thumb, saying, if I am your Guru, give me a thumb. First of all, he did not even teach him anything. He can't even claim to be a Guru. No, he is not Ascharya Vakta, Ascharya Grata. He is a ordinary, in fact, less than ordinary Guru. Though the Shishya was super ordinary, extraordinary. But the Guru was not good. So what happened? He took away his thumb, spoiled this fellow's plus minus minus. But plus plus becomes infinite plus. The knower of Brahman teaches it to a eager disciple who also becomes knower of Brahman. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnam. Both became Purna. Both became infinite, complete. endless. So plus plus is infinite plus according to me. And minus minus are like two blind men leading each other. Both are going to fall somewhere. So that is the power of having the right teacher and the right disciple. And being a right disciple is the ask here. That is why I picked up Kathopanishad, because Nachiketa is the right disciple and Yama is the right teacher. Nachiketa knows Yama is the right teacher. From the beginning he kept on telling, I will not find a teacher like you. But Yama did not know whether Nachiketa is the right disciple or not. So he tested for some time. Tempted him, distracted him, fooled him also with lot of temptations. Nachiketa didn't budge. Tad vidya, that vidya only I want. Don't waste my time. Very clear. Then he said, you are a right disciple. I am blessed. I am blessed, I am happy that I have a disciple like you. Rarely do we find somebody. If you have Shraddha, you attain the knowledge. Even if you don't have a guru, or a guru says, sit outside the class, there is no place in the class, then also you will learn it because you have tremendous Shraddha. So Shraddha is the most important quality of a disciple, and that is very, very important. Shraddha one will not attain anything. Even if the best of the knowers of Brahman speak, nothing will go inside. Because their attachments, their desires, their ideas, that is all that they are attracted to. Once a Guruji was giving a sermon on Ramayana. A lot of people do this saptahas and conduct satsangs. So one of the Guru was conducting a satsang like this, and at the end of Ramayana, the story of Sita and Rama's trouble and Sita's problems, all this was being spoken with great emotion. And right there, one lady was sitting in front and crying and crying and crying and crying. And he was so touched. He said, never I have seen somebody so touched by Ramayana. This is my great good fortune. Some lady has felt so much for Rama and Sita, crying and crying throughout. Then after the satsang got over, he was very curious that did I find the Kushala Shishya here? He went up to the lady and asked, Amma, it was so overwhelming to see. Never it has happened that somebody has cried throughout Ramayana when I am telling about the plight of Rama and Sita, Aranyavasa and all those issues that happen. Do you have so much of devotion for Rama? I am blessed. She said, no, I did not understand what you are saying. No, you were crying when I was telling about Rama and Sita and their problems. Why are you not crying? He said, yes, I was crying, but I was not crying for that. I don't know what you spoke. I didn't even hear what you spoke. Actually, the book which you are holding, you have bound it with one black thread. That is, in Telugu, it's called molatadu. The men tie it around their waist, a black thread. It has many purposes, including holding your dhoti. An evil eye and so many. So, the black thread which you tied the book, that reminds me of my deceased husband who used to tie similar thread around his waist. And remembering him, he was crying, Ayyo, my husband passed away. That black thread was just like his black thread which he used to tie around his waist. Look at the plight of this teacher. No Ascharya. In fact, it was real Ascharya for him. Shock, not Ascharya. What is this? So that kind of Shishyas are also there, plenty of them. And then there are those who are worried. Oh, these small boys are there. They should not listen to this Vedanta and other things because they will become Vairagis. That's the biggest threat, isn't it? That's not we call Vairagya, Paramapadam, we call Vairagya as the highest that you can attain in this life. Whereas the worldly people will think that is the lowest that you can fall to. So they won't like it. So like that one father who, similar guru was teaching about some Upanishad or Ramayana or something. And this fellow will sit every day, he'll come and sit there and listen to it very intently. So one day this father asked the mother, where is this fellow not seen nowadays? Evening 6 to 8 is missing. He's not playing, he's not at home. Where is he? There's guru is taking some classes, satsanga. That's why he's going and sitting there. Father said, no, let us pick him up. If he listens too much, he'll become sannyasi. So he went to pick him up. Guru said, why are you taking him halfway through the class? He said, no, if he listens to all these things, he'll become sannyasi. He told, You have been coming and listening to my discourse all your life. Did you become sannyasi so far? Why are you worried about that little boy? So Guru's biggest plight is this. That is why when we charted Kathopanishad, I said, chant the Shanti mantra. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bunaktu, saha viryam karvavahai, tejas vinavadhi tamastu, ma vid vishavahai. All other things are fine. We should be protected. We should enjoy the study together. We should, our brilliance, our intellects should shine with knowledge. We should work hard for attaining it. All that is fine. I ask, my mavid vishavahai. Let us not be cause of sorrow to each other. Why? Because that Ramayana Guruji, what sorrow it must be for him to realize this lady was only watching that thread and thinking of Maltadu of her husband. What a tragedy for that. What is this? Similarly, what a tragedy if the Shishya is very, very adept, but Guru is incapable, incompetent. Both are sad things. So, ma vid vishavahi. You don't be a cause of my sorrow. Why? Because you don't be lazy. You be earnest. You don't be casual. You try to grasp. Don't be casual about it. Be serious about it. Shraddha should be there. That is how you can make me happy. How can I make you happy? I will put my best effort to explain to you the way you will understand. Be ready to clarify your doubts till the concept gets into your head completely and becomes one with you. I am here for you. So both Guru and Shishya have to be together. That is how you can learn anything. Forget Upanishad, anything, even a mathematics class, even a science class, even an arts class, drawing, music, painting, sports, name it. If you have that kind of earnestness, and if you are fortunate to have a Guru who is an adept in that, perfect. That is how you will be able to attain any Vidya. And that applies to Brahma Vidya also. Dharmaraja and others were completely clear they want to have a war. We have to have a war. Dharmaraja was actually very, very curious to have, they were very eager to have the war of Mahabharata, kill Kauravas and win back the kingdom and take the revenge or whatever. Others also, Bhima was absolutely clear that Duryodhana, I have to break his thighs, and that Dushasana to tear his chest and take out the blood and go and wash Draupadi's hair after drinking a little bit. He was very clear. There was no question of he not wanting the war. Call it Agyani, call it Gyani, whichever way. They were clear. Nakula Sahadeva, whatever our elder brother says, we will do. We have no mind of our own. They were very clear. Who was not clear? Arjuna. So when Arjuna told Krishna, "Oh Krishna, take my chariot to the center between the Kauravas and the Pandavas' army. Let me have a look." What did this Krishna do? He is clever. Gita says, he went and placed the chariot right in front of Drona, Bhishma, all his favorite gurus and great-grandfather. And Arjuna got confused. Should I kill these people? I don't want to kill these people. Suppose Krishna had placed the chariot in front of Duryodhana, Dushasana, Arjuna would have, before the war started only, would have shot an arrow out of frustration. But what did Krishna do? No, I want you to think. Because others have decided, I am Gyani. Yudhishthira knows what I am doing is right. Nakula Sahadeva are Agyanis, they don't know anything. They'll simply follow whatever is being told. You are in between. You are neither full Gyani nor you are a full Agyani. You are in between. So, only you are capable of questioning me. And what did he do to ensure that his confusion comes out? He didn't take the chariot and place it in front of Duryodhana and Dushasana. Otherwise, he would have thought, I am Gyani, I know war has to happen, let us shoot. He would have acted out of Agyana only, though he thinks I am Gyani. I know that this is the truth and we should fight the war because injustice has been done to us. Like his elder brother thinks, Bhima thinks, Nakula Sahadeva, or Nakula Sahadeva, simply whatever my elder brother says, let us do. Even if I don't like, let me fight because Dharmaraja wants it. But what did Krishna do? He churned his heart and created this curiosity, created this kind of questioning mind. Should I kill my own kith and kin? Oh, I didn't even contemplate that actually I'll be killing Bhishma himself. It had not sunk in into his head. Till then, theoretically, he was influenced. But when he stood in front of Bhishma, oh, he lifted me in his arms, he fed me, he taught me, he played with me, I played with his beard. All that he remembered. And all the moha came back. I can't fight this war. His hands and legs started shivering. He got a fever, dropped the Gandiva, and collapsed onto the floor of the chariot. Krishna said, what's going on? He said, no, I don't want to fight the war. Why he didn't want to fight the war? Not because he was thinking of dharma, adharma. He was, moha is the cause why he was not able to think clearly. Suppose Krishna had not created this dilemma in him, do you think Arjuna would have asked the questions to Krishna? Dharmaraja did not ask, no problem. Bhima did not bury, no problem. Nakula Sahadeva simply blindly Agyanis followed, no problem. The problem came when Arjuna asked questions. And the solution came as Bhagavad Gita. In Ajnana we can act in this world like Nakula Sahadeva. We will not attain anything. And thinking that we are a Jnani, we will act like Yudhishthira also, we will not attain anything. So this stage of your life, this middle stage, you don't know too much this side, not that you don't know anything. Somewhere in between you are. So there is a part of your mind, I like the world. It is tempted by the world. But there is also a part of you, the purer side of you. No, Swami says, the world is not the pursuit. Atman or the spirituality should be my pursuit. So there is one part of you says that. So your sthiti is like that of Arjuna, who knows on one side the war should be fought, but other side his moha is attachment to his own people. When you have to fight with a neighbor, is no problem. To fight with your own people. A doctor has to perform a surgery on somebody's child, no problem. When he has to perform the surgery on his own child, hands will shiver. That moha is the starting point of inquiry. That I want to be spiritual, but actually I don't have, on the other side, I don't have that kind of a determination. I also want to enjoy the world. You see, that is the plight of most of the young people, especially after coming here. Suppose you had not come here, no problem. You would have enjoyed the world without thinking. As Ajnanis, you would have enjoyed the world. Whole the body, mind, soul would have been completely involved in pleasures of the world. Suppose you are Jnani, there was no problem. You would have dumped the world. You would have said, I want only God, I want Atman, spirituality, I don't want anything else. You would have simply dumped the world and enjoyed the spirituality. Look at your plight. Trishankus. One leg is in the world, one leg is in the God. And that's the problem, that's where the whole trouble starts. That's why you need a Bhagavad Gita. Yudhishthira doesn't need a Bhagavad Gita, nothing will go inside his head. If Krishna starts also to tell Yudhishthira, Yudhishthira will tell Krishna, can we discuss this after the war? Can we start the war now? Suppose he goes to Bhima and says, Bhima, I want to tell you about Bhagavad Gita. Bhima will tell, after I break Duryodhana's leg, we have plenty of time to discuss your philosophy. Not now. I'm burning, my gada is like. If he goes to these two kids, that is what in Tattoprishad they say, Balam, you are a bacha, you don't know anything. So he goes to them and tells them, listen both of you, I want to teach you about Bhagavad Gita, about Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Sannyasa Yoga, Buddhi Yoga. I want to teach you about all this. They would have looked at each other's face and told, do we need to learn all this? Can we ask Dharmaraja and come? They would tell. Can I ask my papa? Should I attend this class or not? Because they don't have a mind of their own. They don't have any discrimination. They don't have any thinking process. Complete Agyanis. So Bhagavad Gita would not have made sense to any of them. Despite all being brothers. It made only sense to Arjuna. Why? Because his plight was like most of you. I know world is not what I should be wanting, but I know somewhere secretly I desire for it. I know spirituality is what I should be wanting, but somewhere secretly I despise it. This is the plight of the person in the current age and the world that you are in. I tell you, don't engage in this, don't involve in that, don't do this, don't go there, don't speak to them, don't read that, don't see this. But there is a part of you which says, I want to, I want to, I want to. So today what will you do? Out of fear, you may not follow what I am saying, but secretly somewhere you are desiring for it. That is Vairagya, to develop disinterest from within, not out of fear. So I have been talking about Vairagya this week. And it's the most important concept. Take any scripture of India. They all have glorified the idea of Vairagya. And what is Vairagya? Yesterday we told, Vishaya Vitrishnasya, developing disinterest, dispassion in all the objects, not hating, not despising them. Just you develop a disinterest toward them. I don't need it, it's not for me. And that's way what you will attain is control. Vashikara Sangya. You will attain a state where you are in control of yourself. So some people ask, Swami, how do we develop Vairagya? I told you all those shocking stories of people who got a rude shock of their lives when they are cheated, their wives or husbands cheated on them. Or somebody did not do what they thought they would do, and somebody whom they loved did not respond. They got a shock. But that is only a Karana Vairagya. Karana Vairagya means what? Because of some particular reason, it has happened. It was not because you wanted to have it. Because you got cheated in life. You got a shock in life. And because of that shock, you don't know how to handle yourself. So you run to a temple, you run to a guru, you take to the study of scriptures, you take to study of something which will cool you, soothe you, make you feel better. How long? Till the desire comes back. Markata Vairagya also it is called, like monkey. If you cannot get something, I don't need it. We all have read that nursery rhyme, no? That fox which is jumping to get the grapes and cannot get it and say these are sour grapes. So this is Markata Vairagya, this is Karana Vairagya, also it is called Apara Vairagya. Apara Vairagya, the Vairagya of the lower world. Why it has happened? Because you got a rude shock in your life. Now many people are there. They marry, they are divorced, they marry again, they are divorced again, they marry again, then also they want to divorce and then also they want to marry. Tadapina muchyate asha pindam. Even if you get old and you're dying, your tongue is still trying to lick that honey dropping from the tree, from the honeycomb. Forget the lion, forget the bear, forget the snake, let me lick that honey. Asha pindam. The grip of asha is like that, the desires are like that. So you may withdraw temporarily because you got a rude shock. But will this stay permanently? Will this method of attaining Vairagya, which we discussed recently, out of a shock you woke up and that's why you don't want it again, for the time being. Is this a permanent Vairagya or temporary Vairagya? Most of the cases it's temporary Vairagya, unless they have Bhartrihari kind of mind and it becomes a permanent thing for them. But most of them is temporary Vairagya. Something went wrong, you don't want it. But later, again when you confront it, you want it. So that Vairagya is not complete. It's good beginning, it's good start. A shock is a good start to wake you up from your slumber. But that is not the end of Vairagya. That is Apara Vairagya, Karana Vairagya, Markata Vairagya, Manda Vairagya. Many names are there in our scriptures. Different people have called it by different names. That is not going to work forever. It may work, but 99% it won't work. Because after 5 years you meet somebody else and past is past. Swami says, Gatavyataha, let it go. Now I have found a new partner, new person. Let me try. Who knows? This may work out. So that is not a true Vairagya. I have seen plenty of such Vairagis. They are there as a state of Vairagya. They end up in ashram, or they hang around Swami, or they do everything, and you see their ati, everything is ati for them. Everywhere they'll be seen doing too much of activity to contain that desire which is actually boiling inside. But outside they want to maintain it, so they continuously engage themselves, frustrate themselves, but still they'll engage because they want to somehow cut that desire, but they cannot. The vasana is so strong in them. So what happens? The next opportunity, bursts out. Then Natapata knows the address of this person. So this raga, viraga, like pendulum, they keep swinging. This apara vairagis. When some trouble comes, to the vairaga end. When everything starts settling down, to the raga end. And again something goes wrong, back to vairaga. And again something goes right, back to raga. They keep swinging all their life, they reach nowhere. The higher vairagya, it is called viveka purita vairagyam. It comes out of knowledge of why should you have that vairagya. It is not out of a shock or not out of your incapability. Nobody would like to marry you, so that is why you are a sannyasi. That is no sannyasa. Circumstantial. Suppose somebody gets ready to marry you, next day you are ready. That is not vairagya. Now the second vairagya which we will talk today is higher vairagya, which is viveka purita vairagyam. Tivra vairagya it is, not manda vairagya. Tivra means intense vairagya it is. And how did it come to you? Out of viveka. Knowing that this is not helpful in my spiritual growth. So it is a viveka purita vairagya. With discrimination you have decided that I should develop this interest in this. Of course mind will drag you, tempt you, all that will happen. That's a part of the process. But still your viveka gets the better of it. It decides, I should develop this vairagya simply because this is what is not good for me. Whether you are married once, twice, 3 or 10 times does not matter. Even if you are not of a marriageable age also does not matter. Narayan Bhatt was going through his thread ceremony. And they said you have to do this thread ceremony because you have to have all that process. And because you will be, if it is necessary before you marry. He asked, if I don't want to marry, do I need to go through this? How will a child know about what it is? But he asked the right question. What if I don't want to marry? What will happen? Will I have to go through this? So that kind of viveka purita vairagya, I know the consequences of it. Therefore I choose not to do it. Viveka has got you thinking. So what happened? In first case, moha got Arjuna thinking. Moha to this, I don't want to kill him. That is not true vairagya. Did Arjuna become vairagya? Vairagi at that stage. When he said, I don't want to fight the war, I will be happy with begging. He said that. I will beg and live for the rest of my life, then kill my kith and kin. Oh, what is going to happen to their wives and what is going to happen to their children? Who will do pindadana to their forefathers? And a woman without a husband have no protection, then they'll be attacked by other kings. So what a plight it will be. All this was there, but deep down, what was his reason for that vairagya? Because he doesn't want to kill Dronacharya, doesn't want to kill Bhishmacharya. He has this attachment to them. That's why he's not. That's why Krishna said, your Vedanta, you are acting as if you are so worried about the whole world's welfare. What about their wives, their children? They'll become anatha, they'll become vidava. All that is fine. But Krishna knew very well, this fellow's thing is coming out of moha only, not out of vairagya. He's not asking me questions out of vairagya. He's asking me questions out of shock. Apara vairagya has come to him, markata vairagya. So let me teach him his lesson. And he went on explaining to him. Finally Arjuna understands and says what? Nashto moha. All my delusions have been destroyed. What delusions? Even to think that, these women will become without husbands, these children will become without fathers. My forefathers will not get their pitra pindas and they will suffer. That also he confesses. Moha. Oh, Dronacharya, Bhishmacharya, should I kill them, should I not kill them? Confesses. Moha. Nashto moha smritil labdhva. I have got my discrimination, I have got my thinking back, right thinking back. Tatprasadat. Tatprasadat. Because of your grace, O Guru, you taught me what is right, what is wrong. Otherwise, I would have stuck with apara vairagya. Now you taught me para vairagya. By teaching me whole Bhagavad Gita, you made me think right. Dharma you made me think. Not raga, vairaga. Dharma, from that viveka came this vairagya, new vairagya in Arjuna. All right, if I have to kill, I must kill. Smritir ladva tat prasadat mayachyuta. So a teacher, when he teaches like this, like Krishna like teacher, he can create Vairagya in the student. What kind of Vairagya? Viveka Purita Vairagya. With your own understanding, with your own discrimination, you will decide this is not good, this is harmful, I shall let it go. And what does Arjuna say after that? Karishye Vachanam Tava. You are the real guide. You have taught me what is true Vairagya. Many children are there. They want to come to ashram back. Why? It's boring at home. They can't go for playing. The parents don't let them watch TV. The parents fight all the time. There is no entertainment. There is no proper food. And they want to come back to ashram. Is it because they developed some Vairagya at home? Virakti they might have developed, the first kind. Fed up, disgust. But that is not Viveka Purita Vairagya. That is Virakti. Out of shocks, out of disinterest. Why disinterest came? Because they are getting bored. But those, even if everything was given to them at home, TV is there, movies are there, malls were open, theatres were open, let us say, restaurants were open, and your parents had already booked a holiday for some place to take you. They had made all the arrangements to entertain you for the whole of month. Will you still call me up and tell Swami, can I come and attend these sessions? I don't want to be at home. Please get me a pass. I don't want to go home because I want to be here with you. How many? That is Viveka Purita Vairagya. The first one is Virakti Vairagya. I don't know what to do with myself. These people are no use. I can't live with them. Therefore, I have a Vairagya. Running away. First one. Second one is detaching. First is running away. Second is consciously detaching. Vashikara Sangya. Vashikara means to control it and decide, I don't want it. That is the real Vairagya. That comes out of Viveka. Where does Viveka come from? Viveka comes from many things. Viveka can come from your own experience because you have experienced earlier. Like the first time you got cheated in your life. So some Viveka has come in you, discrimination has come. By your own experience, but how many people believe in, how many people have that experience of certain things of life so far at your age? Other option is what? Shastra Pramana. Just believe Guru. Believe Guru. He says this is not the right path for the spiritual progress. Just believe the Guru. Or don't believe the Guru, read the scriptures, thousands and thousands of years of wisdom. And read any scripture. In every scripture you will find this Vairagya coming in. In every scripture. Round, they'll go, they'll explain so many concepts, finally they'll end up in, you have to become desireless, you have to become Vairagya. They may not call it by name Vairagya, but they will call it by so many other names. Nirvilapta, Nirlipta, Vikalpa Shunya, Nirvasana, all types of names, but they're all named for the same word, Vairagya. So that is how India thinks that Indian scriptures have glorified Vairagya. Knowingly giving up will last permanent. Doing it out of a shock or sudden excitement, spiritual excitement. You went for a 10-day workshop somewhere, that's it. I am Jivan Mukta, I am Vairagi, I am everything, you declare it to yourself. 15 days later, back to square one. Such Vairagyas won't last. The shocking Vairagya is good, it will at least make you start thinking, but if it is not combined with Viveka soon after, it will lose its momentum, it will lose its steam and die down. And then you have to wait for another shock in your life. These are not going to help us detach from those negative, unwanted desires. So that Vairagya which comes out of Viveka, that comes out of reading Swadhyaya, good scriptures, or meeting a guru who knows it, or talking to somebody who is more experienced than you on this path, who can advise you correctly, or by your own little experience that you already had in your life. You mentally contemplate on them. Take any method, but develop that Viveka. Then that Viveka gives you the strength to develop that Vairagya. That's why the first one is Aviveka Vairagya. It has just happened. Karana Vairagya, Manda Vairagya, Apara Vairagya. The second one is Viveka Vairagya, Viveka Purita Vairagya, Tivra Vairagya, Para Vairagya. That when you develop alone, there is end to all this misery. You can start getting rid of things. So that is why I insist. Satsanga, Swadhyaya, be with good people, be with right people. not with wrong people who will tempt you into it. Because you are, as I said, you are Arjuna. Half of your mind is wanting to fight the war, half of your mind is not wanting to fight the war. Half of your being is wanting the world, half of your being is wanting God. If you really wanted God, there is no question, everything is done and clear. If you really wanted world, no problem, go and suffer. But your mental suffering and agony is very different from others. Because though you want to go, you cannot go because some part of you says don't. So that kind of a dilemma, which you go through, for that the only solution is develop Viveka Purita Vairagya, not the shock Vairagyas. No, I know this is not the right path. You contemplated it and got convinced about it by continuous contemplation. And therefore you are able to control your mind and vagaries and say, I will knowingly develop disinterest in this and ultimately throw it out. Diabetic, I don't want sweets. I don't want sweets. If he says, you think, oh, you have conquered the temptations of sweet and tongue, sweet tooth, sweet tongue. You have conquered. No, actually I am diabetic. I cannot eat this. What is the use of that Vairagya? Suppose the doctor says, oh, your sugar levels have come down, you're perfectly healthy. The next day, gab, will eat off a half kg gulab jamun without asking anybody. So that Vairagya will not last. Forced, that's why I say forced discipline won't work. Source discipline. And source discipline will come when you contemplate on why this discipline is important for you to lead a happier life. That one Swamiji came, our Vice Chancellor from Ramakrishna Mission, during the youth meet he had come. Atma Priyananda, Swamiji, he is the Vice Chancellor of the Vivekananda University, I believe from Ramakrishna Mission. A very intelligent man, IIT in, I think, chemistry from Chennai, very intelligent. He was telling, the problem of today's society is that good people are good out of fear, they are good. And bad people are fearlessly bad. Bad people have no fear. But good people are good because of fear. They are not good because they are actually wanting to be good. They are good only because of the fear that what will others say? What will others think? What will happen to my reputation? That is the fear. Why you are not cheating in the exam? I am afraid I will be caught. Suppose there is nobody going to catch you for the exam. Are you going to still be honest? Are you still not going to not resort to cheating? Then you are good, without any force. Otherwise, problem of the world is that good people are good because of fear, and bad people are fearlessly bad. They don't care. Because they are fearless, they can afford to be bad and continue to do bad things because they are fearless. Whereas good people are afraid all the time, so they cannot even be fully good because they don't have enough strength. So that is the problem of the world, which is so true. So this Vairagya, born out of fear, born out of circumstances, born out of shocks, born out of some sudden soda bubble inspirations, is not going to last. That which arrives in you, which arises in you out of viveka, continuous contemplation of truth, keeping good company and detaching yourself continuously, is not good for me, this is not good for me. Even if I don't understand right now, it's all right. It is not good for me. When you develop that dispassion, that's when you'll progress on this path of getting rid of unwanted things. It is so clear. So you may all think like this. In this week, I got rid of most of my unwanted desires. You never know. You never know. The pendulum has just swung to this side for now. With the same momentum, it will come back to the other side too. You never know. So you have to keep an eye out for these ideas. When your mind starts tempting again after a week or two, they have to tell, I knew, Swami told me, that is what he warned me. He told me this could be your Markata Vairagya. It's come out of just one soda bubble, that we call inspiration. Your head you have to use at that point in time. That is it right, wrong, good, bad. So Shreyo hi preyo hi manushya me tat. Tau samparitya vivanakti dhiraha. Kathopanishad again. Kathopanishad is at the rescue of a true sadhaka at every step. That's why I said one Kathopanishad is enough for a sadhaka. Now if you have some Idle curiosity, you can read Prashnopanishad, Kenopanishad, or if you just want to have general gyan, you can read Ishavasyopanishad. All these are there. But truth and nothing other than truth, as they say, is Kathopanishad. Sharp knife it is. So, Kathopanishad says, the first thing our Yama tells Nachiketa, after he has tested him, shaken the nail and seen it is perfect, he's pleased. He says, let's begin with the basics of spiritual life. Let's begin with that. And what is the basic? Learn to choose correctly, wisely, after discriminating. Shreyo, Preyo, both will come in front of you. How? Like mixed milk in water. They will come together. You have to have the discrimination to find milk out of water. Dhira, discriminating dhi, buddhi. Then you will be able to attain spirituality. You will go to the higher immortality. The other people are what? Preyo hi mando. The easy path, the pleasurable path, knowing fully well inside that this is the wrong path, still picking it up. They are for the foolish and the weak-minded. They will not be able to attain spirituality. They fall, every next temptation they fall. They have no standing of their own, no spineless sadhakas. Those people will not reach me. Reach means reach immortality. That will not come to them. So very clear, basics. So you are still in the basics of your studies. When you are working and trying to negate or remove wrong thoughts and wrong feelings and wrong desires, you are just doing the basic ABCD right now of removing, segregating. Last time you thought of segregating, you got words, alphabets. Now you are finding words, you can say, that's all. You have not yet started making sentences or making sense to forget. That is finally you will make, hopefully. You have not even got into a sentence. That is the level at which Viveka is. Then from there, further levels are there. But this is where it gets stronger in its resistance. Mind gets stronger. Because we have one part of us, that Mando part of us is there inside us. That's why they show Christianity believes in the devil that lies within all of us. And always trying to overpower the divine in us. So this fight is going on. The Kaurava, Pandava Yuddha is going on inside us. This is Dharma Kshetra, this is Kurukshetra, within us. So whoever gets Krishna wins it. So our good mind, the buddhi, is like Arjuna. What it wants, it doesn't know what to do. It actually wants world, also it wants God. But why it wants God? Not because it really wants God, because it's been told that that is what you're supposed to want. Be a good boy. Whether you like it or not. So pressure of being a good boy. Teachers call me good boy, good girl. I have to behave like a good girl and good boy. Manage my reputation. Image, perception management. So Arjuna is like that. Trying to be a good boy. How can I kill Duryodhana, Bhishmacharya and others? He's trying to be good boy, perception manager. Buddhi. But also he wants to fight a war somewhere. Because he loves his wife Draupadi dearly. And he wants to really avenge the insult. But what to do? Being a good boy is important too. So he's confused. So your buddhi, your dharma kshetra, kurukshetra is inside you. All your desires of the world are Kauravas. All your good desires on that side. Let us say Pandavas, who have the ability to think of God. Not that they are very strong at this point in time, but they are there. And your buddhi is Arjuna. And Krishna is the Sarathi. Look at the whole analogy. Buddhi has to be led correctly to fight the war. So Krishna becomes the Sarathi. I will guide you. Like that you have to talk to your own higher self, the God in you, or you believe in a God outside, bhakti. Whichever way, ask for guidance, ask for strength, so that you can fight the war for the right reasons. Not to try to be good boy, not out of the pressure. Narasimha just not told you all should be worthy of Swami's expectations. Not out of all these things. Because I really want to be good. I really want to do the right thing. Nashto moha smritil labdha. I found ultimate wisdom. I have understood all this moha is gone now. That kind of determination should come out of this. I'll just answer 2 questions or 3 questions and then close. I wanted to ask you whether Vedas and other holy scriptures are needed for self-realization. Of course they are needed. They are like the guide maps. You are entering a new area, new city, you don't know the roads, you don't know how to go right, left. So you have a map and you follow the map and you will reach. The Vedas are like the maps which can help you to navigate and reach the right place. She's a child, that's why she's asking, has ever anyone reached that state ever? Yes, plenty of them. Swami, I offered a question which is disturbing me. Astrology and palm reading. Should you believe in that? Because a lot of people run behind future predictions, astrology, palm reading, and all kinds of other such things. Does it help? Should we believe in all these things? Please clarify. See, when we are born in this world, we have 3 types of karmas. We come with karmas. Karmanu bandini manushya loke. Karmas that bind us to this world. What are these types of karmas? Sanchita karma. We have already done all these things. They are in our kitty. And they will manifest. They will either torture us for the bad that we have done or give us pleasure for the good we have done in the past. It's coming someday, you have to experience that. It's just there. Then what karmas are there? There are something called prarabdha, which we are experiencing right now. So they are part of the sanchit karmas which are now being experienced. And then there is agami, what we are going to do now. So they compare with a bow archer. In scripture, the classic comparison is with an archer. The archer is having some arrows in the quiver. And then he has one arrow already placed on the bow to shoot. And one arrow is already gone. So now there are 3 types of arrows with him. What is one arrow? Already in the quiver, which is the sanchita karma. All the karmas that you have done in the past, they are all collected and kept behind. The next arrow is what? You are about to shoot, but you have not shot yet. You can still decide and stop it. So it won't create a consequence to it. And one arrow which is already gone, now nothing you can do. You have to, even if you are a jnani, you have to go through that. That's what when Dattatreya tells, there are different types of jnanis. The superior of the jnanis are those for whom prarabdha drives them. They don't do anything. Whatever is left of their karma they have to experience, they just go through. Ramakrishna goes through cancer. He says, how does it matter? Ramana Maharshi goes through cancer. How does it matter? Swami goes through physical problems. How does it matter? Because there is some prarabdha, either they have taken upon themselves or they have brought with them, whichever be the case. They are not bothered because that is something they have to experience. The arrow is already left. Now we can't get the arrow back. So these 3 karmas are the reason why we keep on coming back again and again. Now 2 karmas, the sanchita karma, who is supposed to make us experience the sanchita karmas? Gods. Not the Supreme God. Because Supreme God said, I don't do any papa punya to anybody. People do whatever work and experience the results accordingly. So these deities are responsible for us to, like they are the municipal commissioners and all these kind of officers whose job is to execute. So these devatas are like that. That's why devatas versus the ultimate daivam, they are 2 different things. We should not come. Small devatas, Agni, Vayu, Yama, all these are devatas. But Supreme Brahman is the highest of all. So compare it with like a prime minister, highest of all. He is not going to come to Chikbalapur and check whether you went out or went in, whether you wore a mask, you had sanitizer. He's not going to check. He's just going to tell, see, this is the general rule. Anybody does wrong, catch him. And make sure that they go through whatever karma they have to go through. And whatever good they do, reward them. This is a typical law. Now who are the executors of this law? These devatas. So what will you do when you get caught at the police station or police toll or wherever you are, and you have made a mistake? What do you say? Sir, please. This time you leave me. In India there are many other ways. So what you will do? You will pray, you will beseech, you will beg. And then what you will do? He will say, okay, if he's a good-hearted man and he knows that you are suffering, all right, I will give you concession only this time. Okay, you go, but don't appear again here. They may relieve you because of all your prayers and stuti. You are the best policeman, the most handsome I've ever seen. If a woman is going that way, sir, you are so kind, so handsome. You exactly looked at that cinema I saw in that one policeman was there. You are like the embodiment of that. That fellow is, okay, this time you go, next time you don't go. And the boys go that side, sir, look at your biceps, look at your triceps, look at your chest, look at your height. Okay, this time, next time, no. Devatas were in charge of that, they have to be pleased. to save ourselves from these karmic consequences, or at least to reduce it down, to reduce it. 500 rupees is putting a charge for you, toll. You made a mistake. Sir, please, I don't have 500 rupees. I'm a poor beggar. I don't have money. My father comes to know he's going to bash me up separately at home. So please have mercy. Okay, I will charge you under some other section 150 rupees and go. All right, you manage, no? The police. Same thing these devatas are. So what you do, you fall sick. Some devata is taking charge of you, making sure that you suffer your sickness. Mrityu, akala mrityu is there. It's written because you have collected those karmas in the past. It's come to you now because of prarabdha, you started experiencing it. And there are more to experience behind. But right now your experience, you're not able to bear it. Cancer has come, wife is sick, children are born, with some disease, or I have financial losses, or accidents, fire, business losses, could be anything. So what do? All this is because of your prarabdha. There is no doubt about it. There is no, if one person said, never doubt God. Never doubt God. He only does good. If you are suffering, be sure it is because of you. So you are sure that it is because of my fault. Now what do? I have to beg the gods. Pray to them. Oh Yama, little be merciful to me. I will give you whatever you like. Oh Ganapati, I want to pass this test. I have not studied. Tomorrow 1 kg laddu for you. Isn't it? Oh Tirupati Venkateshwara, bless me with this business. I'll offer all this beautiful hair that I have, which you wanted so badly, you see. Oh Shankara, if you bless me with this particular job, or help me with getting rid of this particular legal issue which has come my way, I'll come and do Abhisheka for you. With Ganga water. This all we do, right? Similarly, we have Shanti homas, we have Mrityunjay homas, we have got plenty of, we do here so many homas, have you seen those? 9 days of Navaratri, all kinds of Kala Sarpa, then we have Ashlesha Bali, we have homas for various Gayatri, we have homa for Lakshmi homa, Ganapati homa, Navagraha homa. Why? Because all these people are those police officers watching over us. And their job is to make sure that we suffer for our mistake and also we benefit for our good. Both they take care. The Supreme God does not look into these affairs. He has made a rule like a president and left it at that. Now these local officers execute. So we pray to them. So what these astrologers do, see, we have a science of astrology which can calculate and can tell you that under what nakshatra, under what rashi, under what situation of grahas which affect us, we are born. And it's a proper science. It's not somebody's imagination. It is a proper science. So based on that, there are rules under which we are all living. So we have lived before. They found out based on our birth charts. This will happen in the past. These people will suffer for these problems in this life. Why? Because their previous janmas, star constellations indicate that if this is born in this particular arrangement, these are the 2 or 3 things they will suffer with. They will be good at these 2 or 3 things. Something like that. Like Buddha was to be born and father called an astrologer and told astrologer is going to be very famous for 2 reasons. One, either he'll become sannyasi and become famous or he'll become Chakravarti and become famous. So that astrology is definitely there. I'm not saying all astrologers are equally good at it. I'm not saying that. That depends on astrologer to astrologer. But then astrology as a science, it exists. Somebody who knows it will be able to predict it. He cannot tell it confirmed. But he can predict that with considering these situations, this should be the result of you. So these karmas are with us. How to escape them? We cannot escape them. Prarabdha, we have to experience them. So what do? We pray to God, please reduce this tax on us. Reduce this penalty. Reduce this fine. And let us go through it, please. So then these gods also take mercy. You give them the right kind of out. That is why all these karma kandas of the Veda, where they all knew how to please which god and get what you want. Go home. Mother, can I cut vegetables today? Can I help you clean the kitchen? And she'll ask, what is that you want from me? Father, I'll wash the car, I'll wash the bike, and I've cleaned up your room, I have polished your shoes. What is that you want from me? That is what the father will ask. So these all yajnas, yagas are suggested by astrologers to help us please those gods so that we can at least reduce, if not escape. reduce those karmas to us. Why it was important? So that we are mindful that we are making mistakes and we have to suffer. That is why these were important, these rituals. We should be mindful, otherwise we'll be blatantly making mistakes. So we are mindful. Last time I had to go through a 3-hour ritual. I would have as well gone through the karma, sitting for 3 hours in front of this Pandit. But these are reminders of us, to us. So the astrologers are able to predict this from the charts, and they're able to somewhat tell you that these are the problems, and the reason for this is because of this god is not happy, or this particular police officer in this police station is what you should meet if you want your problem to be solved. So you go and meet that. Paroksha Priyavai Deva, they say. They all are there on top. And how do we reach to them? You do yagas, pujas, and the havis makes them strong. Why they're happy with you? Because they need your havis to be strong, they say. If you forget them, we don't worship them, they become weak. They can't do their jobs properly. So this havis goes to them and they become strong. And because of their strength, they bless you. That you have favored them, okay, I will also favor you. So we have tapatrayas, One of the tapatraya is because of the devatas. One is because of our own karmas. One is because of the others around us. One is because of the gods. So we pray to them saying that please help us. So these astrology are all important, but you should give only so much important. What is better? See, this will only help you deal with the prarabdha karma. What about the Sanchit and Agami? Because after solving this problem, again you create one more problem for yourself. Shoot the arrow. Then what is the use? Okay, this also is solved. You have somehow controlled yourself and not shot next arrow. What about the previous, which are going to come to you, all the karmas of the past which you have not experienced, but they will come now. They are waiting in the line. So will your whole life will be doing yajnas and yagas? So jnana. They say the one who has jnana, for him sachit karma, the past karmas get destroyed. The future karmas get destroyed because he is not a doer anymore. He may do things, but he is not the doer. Kurvannapi na lipyate. Doesn't affect him. He is a jnani. He knows Atman is the doer, I am just the witness. Means I as a body, I am just an instrument. So they call nimitta bhava, you get it. Either jnana bhava or nimitta bhava. Nimitta bhava means I am an instrument, so it's not my fault. How is scissors' fault that the cloth got cut wrongly? So with that knowledge they do. Or they become jnanis. Then there is no more karma because they know they are not the doer, Atman is the doer. So what happens? Future karmas are taken care of. Because the jnana, past karmas are taken care of. Only thing left for them is prarabdha. So when you see many of these jnanis also performing rituals and doing, it's only to deal with their prarabdha. Not more than that. So astrology does help us because of our karmas of the past, and it helps us to at least limit the effects and consequences. And also is a good reminder to us that we should not be doing. See, astrologers can also predict. You have also some more karmas. At 50, you will suffer with a kidney problem. At 55, there is a possibility of an accident. At 65, there is a possibility of a heart attack. They can tell you these things. So what you do, these are all your sanchit karmas which are coming. So before that, what you do, you develop jnana, you take precautions, you pray to God and reduce the effects. If you attain jnana, destroy it once for all. But if you have not attained jnana, what can we do? Go through your karmas. That is why I am saying jnana means realize who you are. The moment you realize, the first bonus that comes to you is all your past karmas are gone. Next bonus, all your future karmas are gone. Only the present karmas are there, which also will fade away in some time because you are not creating any more. There is no more sequences of the nothing is left, just few which is left. You finish that. And the jnani is okay with that. He is not perturbed. That is the power of jnana. So why I have to tell you again and again, please realize, you will see how many benefits. Whether you have ananda prapti or not, I don't know, but dukkha nivritti will definitely happen. At least you will get rid of your sorrows. Whether you attain bliss, that is the second part. At least getting rid of your sorrows is the first part. Otherwise, what in this world, dukkham, shashvatam, ashashvatam, asukham. In this world, what is there to be happy? That is why Buddha said this world is full of sorrow. Everybody knows it. Still we want to go behind it because we are avivekis. We don't have viveka to think correctly. So learn this, be in the good company, do your swadhyaya. Somebody asked, should I do swadhyaya? You are asking, no? You are telling do meditation and you also swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is a part of your niyama. You should be doing it any day. Apart from that, you should do meditation. Swadhyaya is a part of it. So today I am doing Kathopanishad Swadhyaya sitting with you. That's a part of your daily duty. And if you find any time in between, then you go for your other activities, practice and others. If you don't find time, then leave everything else, do Swadhyaya, do your Mananam, do your Dhyana. That is most important at this point in time.